Week 10 is here, and he has 5 running backs you should start in Week 10. The first guy is James Robinson of the Jacksonville Jaguars, the undrafted free agent running back. What a season he's having. And now we know why Leonard Fournette was cut from Jacksonville. This guy could do it all. Another good fantasy game he had in Week 9 with 15 fantasy points, 99 yards and a touchdown for Robinson. And once again, he's got a good matchup this week versus the Green Bay Packers, who, believe it or not, give up the most fantasy points to running backs. So Robinson here, he's having a great season. He's came out of nowhere, like I said, and he's also had some 30-point fantasy days too. So he could get you anywhere from 15 to 30 on any given week is Robinson. This guy, he's consistent. Even with the rookie quarterback, he's going to get the work. Checkdowns I want to see, though. He only had 2 targets and no catches in Week 9. But in this game, they're going to be trailing early and often. In Green Bay is Jacksonville. So Robinson, he should get some passes caught also. So he's a guy I'm going to start. The second guy at running back I'm starting is Leonard Fournette, a former Jacksonville Jaguar. And the guy Robinson obviously replaced. And Fournette, he's been getting all the passing downs work here in Tampa Bay. So Tampa Bay, they like him. He's got more ball security than Ronald Jones. Jones, once again, when that game got out of hand on Sunday night, he didn't do much. But it was good to see Fournette at least get you 10 fantasy points in PPR with 6 catches and 41 yards. So his role is definitely cemented in there as the third down and passing downs back for Fournette. This week, he's got a pretty decent matchup again versus Carolina, who gives up the 4th most points to running backs this season. So Fournette, they got to give him more carries. He only had 1 in this game, but they were off game script. But I think Fournette's going to take this job over and get more carries over Jones as the weeks go on, because he looks like the better running back, and he can do a little bit more than Jones in all aspects of the game. So go start Leonard Fournette this week at Carolina. The third running back to start, Miles Sanders. Sanders finally back from injury after getting hurt a few weeks ago. And Sanders now, he's going to be healthy. He's going to be practicing this week and playing, is Sanders. And he's got a plus matchup versus the New York Giants here, who middle of the pack versus running backs. But in the first meeting, Sanders was out with the injury. And Sanders, we saw him before he got injured. He had some breakaway speed and scoring some big touchdowns. This game, Philly, they're going to rely on him, I think, heavy. He's going to get 15, 20 carries. He could get a couple catches out of the backfield. And he's a workhorse. So this guy, even with injury, I'm not hesitating to start him. And he's got a pretty decent matchup, like I said, versus the Giants. So he's the third running back I'm going to start. The fourth guy is DAndre Swift, a guy I've been talking and raving about for most of the season. And Swift here, like I said, he should be the man over there in Detroit. They're going nowhere, it looks like. Now Stafford's banged up. Peterson, he's had a great career and all, but how much more does he have to prove? It's time to get this kid the ball early and often and more. It was nice to see him have 16 touches last week, and this week he's got a Washington football team coming to Detroit, and I hope this guy could get you 15 to 20 carries, because when he gets the workload, he gets the production, is DAndre Swift. So right here, I think he can have a good game. He's depending on his touches, but I think he's going to get the job done as Swift. So if he could get 15, 20 touches, he could get you 100 total yards and a touchdown, because he's definitely got the passing downs role there in Detroit. Obviously, Peterson was never a pass catcher out of the backfield. So now if he just could get the carries 15 to 20 a game, it'll be nice to have Swift. So go start him. And the fifth and final guy is Chase Edmonds, who I had very high on my rankings last week as the 5th running back, but he disappointed. Hopefully this week he bounces back. He still gave you a decent fantasy game at the running back position with 11 points. So he was a number 2 running back in fantasy. He had 25 carries, which was great, and 3 catches for 18 yards. You think in a game which was a shootout, 34 to 31, Edmonds would have had more targets and more receptions, but that wasn't the case. But this week he's got Buffalo. I don't think Drake's going to come back this week, probably week 11 though. So Edmonds here, he had 28 out of the 30 touches in the backfield last week. He's the workhorse over there in Arizona. And this week I think he'll have even a better game than 11 fantasy points. So that's 5 running backs I'm going to start heading into week 10.